Hi guys, Mary Beth Temple here from Hooked for Life, and in this video we're going to make this cute little ghost, and it looks adorable hanging off your bag, or you could make a longer chain and hang it off your neck. But even better, he has a use, which is to keep your keys. You can put your house key, you can put your car key, you can do whatever you need to do, and you can put it right here on the key ring that's hidden inside, and then you're out and about, you don't have to carry a bag, and you know where your key is. These are super simple to do and very quick to make, so let's jump right in. To make our little friend, we're going to need some white worsted weight yarn. I used 100% acrylic, but you can use whatever white yarn you have. Some black embroidery floss, a tapestry needle, I like a fine point one for the embroidery, a locking stitch marker, a ring that is 1 1/4 inches wide, plus a lanyard hook, and then a crochet hook size H, 8, 5 millimeter, or whatever size you need to get a pleasing fabric. You want it to be a little bit tight. The first thing I'm going to do is chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm going to join this into a ring by putting a slip stitch in the first chain. Now, if you have followed me here and seen some of my other videos, you know that I tend to like pieces in the round. I like to begin them with a magic ring or magic circle. The reason you don't want to do that here is you want to make sure that this opening stays open so the lanyard clip can fit through it. So this is not an instance where you want to switch out and do a magic ring. Chain 1, and I'm going to put 12 single crochets into the ring, and you'll notice I'm crocheting over the tail. That's because I don't want to have to deal with weaving it in later. These are so quick, and I like to make them quicker. So you're making a single crochet the way you always would, but instead of putting it in a stitch, you're inserting your hook in that ring. So yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over, draw through 2, that's 2, 3. So I have 3 more to put in, and you can see it's getting a little tight in there. All I'm going to do, I'm going to hold firmly with my left hand, or the vice versa if you're left-handed, and I'm going to squish those stitches over to the side. Now I can put my last 3 in there. 1, or rather 10, 11, 12. I'm not going to be joining rounds, so I'm going to need to put that stitch marker in the last stitch of every round so I know where my round ends. And as I mentioned, I don't want to fuss with weaving in ends. I crocheted over this 12 times. That's close enough for me. I'm going to go ahead and cut that tail right now, get it out of my way. For round 2, you're going to put 2 single crochet in the next single crochet. So that's 1, 2 in the same space, because we're increasing. And then 1 in the next, 2 in the next one, 1, 2, 1 in the next. We're going to do that all the way around, so for a total of 6 times. And at the end of this round, we're going to have 18 single crochet. And you want to remember to move your stitch marker up every time you complete a round. Here we are at the end of round 2, and we have our 18 single crochets in the round and our stitch marker in the last stitch. Now all we have to do is single crochet in each single crochet around. So 1 stitch in every stitch, and we're going to keep going. And so the piece, it's a circle now, but it's going to start to cup down on the sides. It's going to start to curve in this direction. So all the way down to here, there's no increase or decrease. We call that working even. So we're going to work even until the piece measures 3 1/4 inches, or I have 12 rounds of 18 single crochet, 14 rounds total. So I'm just going to crochet, 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 and move the marker up every time I finish a round. And then we're going to come back and put our little ruffle on the bottom. All right, we have finished all of our work even rounds, and we're moving on to our last round, which says single crochet in the next single crochet, skip 2 single crochet, that's 1, 2, 5 double crochet in the next single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, skip 2 single crochet, 1, 2. So that's the repeat. We're going to do it a total of 3 times. Single crochet, skip 2, 5 doubles, skip 2. And we're going to do that a total of 3 times. So we're going to come back to the beginning of the round. Here we are at the end of the round. We're going to skip those last 2 single crochets, and let's go ahead and get rid of the stitch marker because we don't need that anymore. Now we're going to slip stitch in the first single crochet of the round, and then I can cut my yarn and pull it through and weave in that end. All right, here is our little friend, and we're going to embroider our eyes on. You can always use safety eyes if you want to. Now I like to stick my fingers in between the 2 layers because I noticed that when I didn't, I accidentally caught the back, which I did not want to do because I want my key to move up and down freely. I put mine on the 5th round down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can put them wherever that little face looks great to you. Now there's no real easy way. You can't like tie a knot and pull it through. It doesn't really work that way. So what I have been doing is sort of almost like I was weaving in the end, but I'm trying to go through sort of the thickest part of the single crochet just to get a little bit of a tail of the embroidery floss hid in there. You can see it the least little bit, but again, it's a key charm. It's not a sweater that I'm going to wear on the cover of Vogue, so I'm just not going to get that excited about it. So here we are, once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm just going to go under a stitch and over a stitch a bunch of times. I've been doing 5. Again, it's your little ghostie friend. You can do however you would like to do it. I got a little twisted there. Okay, so there's 1. 2, 'Again, the number of times I accidentally caught the back with the tapestry needle, I don't even want to talk about. So that's why I'm trying to be a little more careful this time. 3, 4, and then when I go down, that'll be my 5th one. And what I did is I skipped 3 stitches. So again, you can do it exactly the way I did it, or you could do your own little face. 1, 2, 3, whoops, hate when that happens. 4, and then my 5th one will be when I put my needle down, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to just weave it in and out through a couple of stitches, keeping it towards the back where nobody will see it, just to make that tail long enough that it's not going to pull out super easy. And then I can cut it, and then I'm done. Now the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to crochet just a chain. Now the one that I did to use it as a bag charm, this is about 15 inches long, or 50 chains. You could also make a longer one if you wanted to wear it around your neck or attach it to a costume or something like that. But if you want to use it for a bag charm, that's close enough. So I'm going to quick make my chain, and then I'll show you the final assembly. Okay, for our final assembly, we're going to take our ring and our lanyard clip and push it up through the center. And you want the lanyard clip to come out of the hole that was formed by your beginning chain 4, and you don't have to worry about it pulling out because that ring, because we use the 1¼ inch ring, it's pretty wide. So then we're going to grab our chain. Notice I haven't tried to weave any ends in yet because I want to use the I want to use the tail to get it where I want it to go. So now I have threaded my chain through the top of the lanyard clip. I always hate trying to weave in ends in a chain, but because we're going to tie an overhand knot later, I'm not super worried about it. So I just did a double knot right there. I'm going to use my tapestry needle. Let me trim that a little bit, or else we'll be here all day while I try and thread it. I'm not going too crazy. I'm just weaving them in and out a couple of times, and I'll show you why in a minute. But again, just to make sure stuff doesn't come apart when we don't want it to. I'm going to trim that here, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And then the last thing I'm going to do, so here's where my chain joined, I'm going to tie an overhand knot up here, which is going to hide the rest of those ends. And the reason I need the overhand knot is when I pull my keyring out with the key on it, I don't want it to be able to pull through. If you don't have the overhand knot on there, it could pull all the way out, and then it's really hard to get it back in. So here we go. We use the chain to pull the lanyard clip out where it belongs. And if I want to have it on my bag, I can just tie it this way. And then when I need my key, I'm going to reach up and grab it, pull it all the way out and use it, using that overhand knot to make sure it doesn't come all the way out. And when I'm finished, it goes right back in to my little ghostie friend. So thanks so much for joining me. Once again, I'm Mary Beth Temple from Hooked for Life Publishing. Please give us a like, a subscribe, hit the little bell so you get notifications, all those good things, so I can show you more cute little tricks. But thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.